Welcome to the Socialize forecast. It is Tuesday. There's construction out the window and it keeps happening, so there's no way I can avoid it. I hope that the microphone is kind and doesn't have you listening to what's happening right now. I won't know until I play it back. So I'm just going to carry on. I want to talk about, before I start with the trends for today, I want to just mention something that came up, and I'm so excited that it came up on my For You page because I ended up using it for myself to tell a little story last night on my TikTok. And that is this Like a Prayer trend that is the Madonna sound, Like a Prayer, but it's got this Muppet. I don't even know who the Muppet character is, but it's a Muppet character and his eyes are like shocked. And so it's this image and it's a photo trend. So you just put the photo up of this character and you put multiple photos of this same character. And then you could do one where you zoom in closer, maybe at the end. So it's multiple photos. And on each photo, you tell the parts to a story. So there is a girl who told this story about dousing her hair in olive oil in order to condition it or whatever. And then a series of unfortunate events that happened the night that she decided to wrap her head in saran wrap and olive oil. It's hilarious. So not only did she go viral with this trend, like crazy viral, she also then reenacted it. So she wrapped her head and she did like a second video where she reenacted the whole thing, and that went viral. But the reenactment, a lot of people saw that before they saw the original. So that went viral sometimes because people didn't know, what the hell is this woman doing with this foil, this saran wrap on her head, and she's like, the alarm in her house is going off. It is so funny. I mean, I said, like, if TikTok goes away, we're just happy that we got to see this one before it leaves, because it's just so funny. Anyway, I kid around about the TikTok going away, because it's definitely, in my mind, it's not going to be soon. Certainly not going to be on January 19th, because my birthday's the next day. So I'm hoping it's not then. And even if there is a hiatus period, like I said in my video, which I will share here in the newsletter, don't get yourself in a spin. Like, we're all going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out together. I have the community now, the Socialize Studio people who are with me, and I'll be trying to be ahead of it to solve it for all of us. So I'm dabbling in all the other apps. I'm keeping myself in it, and I'm going to teach my studio members this week about how they can keep themselves relevant, how to navigate it. And so that is a big thing that I'm doing. And that's like a priority for me right now, especially as we go into the end of the year. But anyway, back to the subject at hand, the crazy funny story with the olive oil. Check it out. I'll put it in the show notes here. And I'll also say that I shared my crazy ass story, and I'll tell it to you now so you don't even have to watch the video. But my parents told me at my ripe age of 63 that when I was 6 months old, they lived in an apartment in Jersey City, New Jersey, and they decided to move because their neighbor was really annoying and very, very nosy. And her name was Bella Epstein. Just saying, in case anybody happens to know her. But apparently she was a nosy neighbor, and her husband and her lived in this apartment together. They were the landlords. And my parents decided finally, like, they'd had enough for whatever reason. They found a new apartment and they left. Well, within a couple of months after that, on the news, they heard a story about a family the man went and started his car in the attached garage of the apartment building, and then went back in the house because he forgot something, got sidetracked with his wife, and never remembered that the car was running. And everyone in that apartment building died of carbon monoxide asphyxiation. I mean, if we lived there, I would not be here today. Because the other family that lived in that apartment building, they all died of carbon monoxide. The fact that they just decided to tell this story, like, crazy. At my age, I was like, wait, what? I mean, you can't imagine my surprise, because my parents can go into very great detail about every meal and every condiment because they live in assisted living and they like to talk about whether they think the food is good or not. Are you kidding me? Like, how does this story escape the family tree? How do we not talk about this ever before? I was shook. Anyway, so I immediately called my sisters and told them the story too. Craziness, but that's my story for today. And so that's what I put on my little trend. Mine did not go viral. I don't care. I didn't expect it to. I just thought, well, you know what? This is perfect timing. I'm gonna use this story for the trend. All right, so that's a bonus trend for you if you want to try it. And I will I could probably make a tutorial for it at some point, but it's pretty easy to do. You just take the photos and put on some text. Okie dokie. Let's go into the trends for this week. The first one is we listen and we don't judge. And this is where you just say it. You don't even need a sound. You just say the words with a friend or a partner or someone in your life. And you say, we listen and we don't judge. And then one of the people tells a confession. So the other one is not allowed to judge them for their confession. And then they say the words again, we listen and we don't judge. And then the other person does a confession. So you can watch the one that we put in the newsletter. It's very funny. And some of the things that you might have in your life that you want to try and do it for, it could be really revealing. Like if you find out a crazy story that you never knew about your partner or your spouse or your friend. Brings me back to the other trend. All right, now the next one is, you know what? Hell yeah. And this is a nice, easy lip sync. I mean, you can do the 2x speed thing that I taught with this, but you don't necessarily need it because it's pretty easy. However, it gives it a funny look. The 2x speed gives it a little herky-jerky look. So if you like that vibe, you can use it for this trend. The trend is to show off a realization you're having and finally taking in. Like you knew something, you never really thought about it much, and like, hell yeah, I'm good. I'm good at technology. Hell yeah. So you can use it to do whatever you want. You can use it in your niche. You can use it to highlight something that you've always kind of known about yourself, but you never really gave yourself credit for. So lots of fun things you can do with that one. And those are the TikTok trends. Next up, we have the Instagram trends. The first one I love because it's the Dora the Explorer song. So you can dance around and do it. You can lip sync it. I love the dancing around thing and celebrating. We did it. And I might have to do a little studio video of myself dancing around the city, and that would be fun. I'm going to see if I can get a friend to do that with me. Well, I have to have Julie to do that with me because that would be most appropriate. So I'll have to see how I can make that work. Maybe we can record something and I can put it together. All right. So that's an iconic song. You can celebrate a win. You can celebrate something as a small business owner that you're excited about. You got over a hurdle. When I carried this stool that I'm sitting on home, I could have brought that in and danced around. We did it. I carried it 4 blocks and it weighs a ton. I would like to put it on a scale and tell you how much it weighs. I might do that. I might do that soon. But you can celebrate anything. It could be decorating for the holidays, getting your Christmas shopping done. It can be starting your Christmas shopping, buying one gift on December 23rd. You could do something funny like that. Like on Christmas Eve, you can post it. I like to give ideas, so I'm going to throw some things out. But you can be so far out there with what you're celebrating. It can be very minor, and it can be something very major that you want to share. All right. The last one on Instagram is we finally got the popular one hitting Instagram kind of hard. So if you didn't do popular, you're gonna be popular. I'll show you what shoes to wear, how to fix your hair. That's the one. Somebody asked me if I could sing. That's the extent of my singing. All right, so you can do that one. So much fun. I kind of want to do it again because it's so good. Maybe I'd have to, I don't know, I would post something else, a different celebration. But I did do it twice. I did it once to announce the studio and once to announce my dad's birthday. So I probably already kind of used it up for my uses. All right, let's get into what's up this week in the studio so that you know what you're missing if you're not in it. We have a live Zoom session on Friday the 13th. And it's going to be fun because I never thought, I got my black cat for Friday the 13th. I should have mentioned this. I brought my tree inside because I had a party this weekend. So my tree got moved and I didn't bring it back for the moment. And so I just pulled up my little Bella. Oh my God, Bella Epstein. Bella is here with me, which I think is so funny. That's her name. It's like Karma. And she's hanging with me because I didn't want a blank background. Okie doke. So as I said, on Friday the 13th with my black cat, we will be talking about staying relevant on social media. And I think this is really important because I'm not only going to just address the staying relevant as things are now, but I'm going to address how to stay relevant if this starts to change. If TikTok goes away, what things you should be thinking about. So I'm going to do a nice full session on that and then have a Q&A. So that's coming up on Friday if you are in our paid studio. The other thing we have is an overlay challenge happening tomorrow. Oh, sorry. I'll say it again, and I'm not even going to edit it. The other thing is we have an overlay challenge happening today because it's going to be today when I release this. And the final thing is I did share a lot of hot tips this week, a lot. I mean, about camera eyeline, about using AI in a logical way that's easy for everyone, not in some elaborate way. Some of these creators are like, make all your videos in AI, and it seems very daunting. I am doing it in small bites. I'm showing you how to use AI in little bites so that you can get accustomed to using AI to help you and to help make your process more efficient. So that's what we're doing in the studio. If you want to join us, click the link. Hooray. Okay, for original content ideas, funny enough, we're going to ask and we're going to ask you to maybe ask your audience, what other platforms are you going to be on if TikTok goes away? Maybe make a video that talks about what you're going to do if TikTok goes away. You can do something like that. There's a lot of people talking about it right now. So that topic usually tends to get some traction. So you can do that. And so to that note, you maybe want to consider what platforms you're on. We're going to help you with that in the studio this week. You can consider starting an email list if you haven't done that. So all those types of things are what we're going to talk about in the studio, but you could make a video talking about it. You can make a video being funny about how you're stressed out about it, that it's like your anxiety levels that are at an all-time high because they might be on TikTok. You can make some fun content about it, but that could be a good one. I think the idea of sharing what platforms you're going on and a way of working that into your video is probably important. And technically that is the content idea for today, is somehow making a video where you share the platforms to where you're going. Okay, the next one is, oh my gosh, Julie wrote this one up. Take a page out of the Mothership's book and create a tutorial. Tap into your experience and share a tutorial about what you know best, whether it's hair, makeup, cooking, decorating. Channel your inner teacher and share your value with your audience. All right, and the last one is, we're coming up on it, 2024 recap. It's time to start planning. Don't wait until the 24th or the 31st to start looking through your photos on your phone. Make it palatable. Do January, February tonight. Do March, April in a couple, do it. Take it 2 months at a time. Go into your phone, scroll through your photos, and take a little peek ski and make a little folder so that you can be prepared for your 2024 recap. And don't wait until the very end of the month because you'll be sorry. I promise you will be sorry. All right, what's the tutorial for this week? I posted and shared, hold on, I want to look because I can't even remember. I am moving so fast, I don't even know. How to save your TikTok, how to screen record, that's a big one. And I talked about the TikTok ban. So those were my 2 pieces of content that were teaching content this week. So if you don't know how to screen record, please check the tutorial out that I shared. And if you haven't looked at the TikTok Studio as an option for creating content, maybe that's something you can look at. I didn't talk about the TikTok Studio in the tutorial. I may make a follow-up to talk about it. It's just a few more steps to use that app to create content so that you can save without the watermark. But if you feel like you need to, why not? Just try that app and see if it works. I don't know if it's available worldwide. It might just be available in the US so far. I don't know. I'd love to know. So if you're listening and you're in another country, do you guys have the TikTok Studio app yet? And is that an option? I would love to know. So do tell. Let's see. Do I have any questions for this week? I do have a question that I can answer. And it was a studio question, which is, in CapCut, can you select multiple clips and slide them around, like bunch them together? So I'm going to put it out to the universe that I think CapCut needs to have a feature like where you can hold the shift key and select multiple things in your computer and then send or whatever. I think we need a key that we can turn on and then we can tap, 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 tap and select multiple clips and slide. Anyway, that's just me. And no, CapCut doesn't have a way of doing it yet, but I really think they need to. And I will say, here's a hot tip, that if you need to move a bunch of clips earlier, sometimes your brain doesn't even realize that you could just take one clip and move it later. So that's my hot take. If you have to move a bunch of things, think about moving the one single thing. Like, think about which is less work to do. Like, move one thing or move 10 things. Obviously moving one thing. And sometimes it might be moving 2 or 3 things, but it might be still more than moving all 10. So try and think in reverse. I have a lot of tips about reverse thinking because I do think we underutilize our brain, and sometimes we're so linear in moving forward that we don't think that there's another way to do it. And I'm guilty of that a lot of times, of like doing things the hard way. So the goal for 2025 is going to be to make work easier. And so a lot of the tips I'm going to start sharing is how to make your life and your social media work, your social media fun, and content creation easier as we go into 2025. Thanks for listening today. I'm off to a lunch with a friend and I don't want to be late, so I'm going to wrap it up for now and I'll be back to see you on Friday. Thanks. Bye.